Welcome back to Endangered Species Spotlight. This week we are talking about the eastern barred bandicoot. So, people actually tend to be surprised that bandicoots are a real animal and not just made up for the video game Crash Bandicoot, but they are real. They're a type of marsupial found in Australia, and there's around 20 or so species of them. Lots of the species are endangered or vulnerable, but this one specifically we're talking about the eastern barred bandicoot. The eastern barred bandicoot is one of the rarer species of bandicoot. It is found on mainland Australia and also Tasmania. The mainland subspecies is more endangered than the Tasmanian. There's quite a higher population of these guys in Tasmania. All around, there's between 300 and 400 of them, but there are more of them in Tasmania than there are on the mainland in Australia. So while these guys may look like rodents, they are marsupials, so they're more closely related to koalas and kangaroos than they are to, like, rats, which is kind of what they look like. But no, they're not related to rats really beyond just being a mammal. They do have, like, the pouches that they carry their babies in, and while I'm not familiar at all with the game Crash Bandicoot, I don't think there's any similarities between the real Bandicoot and the character Bandicoot beyond the name and a vague physical similarity. While threatened a lot by things like habitat loss, like most things we talk about here, the main threat to these guys are actually being hunted by invasive foxes and cats. So foxes and pet cats that have been introduced to Australia and Tasmania and that are running rampant and eating all of the native wildlife. So I've said it once, I'll say it a million times, keep your fucking cats indoors. They shouldn't be outside. Keep them indoors, or these guys are gonna go extinct and it's gonna be your fault. Now, there are quite a few conservation efforts about saving the eastern barred bandicoot specifically, as well as bandicoots as a whole, like kind of encompassing all of the other species, so I will link those. But so far the conservation efforts seem to be going decently well. There are a bunch of species that have had their populations increase. I'm not entirely sure about this one specifically, but there are conservation efforts going on that are being done to some level of success, so that's great. We love to see it. And yeah, keep your cats indoors. Hopefully the eastern barred bandicoot and bandicoots as a whole, their populations will recover and we will be seeing them for a while.